New and updated mods are here for Farming Simulator 25, and today we're going to take a look at them. In total, 23 mods released. All platforms got 16 new and 2 updates. PC and Mac players also got 3 new and 2 updates. Additionally, there were 8 new mods released over the weekend for crossplay, though I did not show those off then, but we'll talk about them now. If there's something you want to see, check the timestamps. Let's do it. Starting off today with a new map for all platforms, we have the map Farmlands from Farmer Raba with endless fields, endless possibilities. Have you ever dreamed of working vast open plains with minimal obstacles in your way? A place where you could roll out your biggest, most powerful tractors and implements and get straight to work? Well, Farmlands makes that dream a reality, at least for the most part. The map is split by a canal into 2 different districts. We have the northern area featuring more hills and dense forests, which we're actually flying over right now, and then we have the southern area, which is mostly flat, pancake-like. Yost would love that. An expanse except for its western edge, with prominent ridges which add variation to the landscape, as you can see. The map itself features 42 different farmlands, with 19 farmlands being flat as a pancake, with the rest of them varying between forestry area and rolling hills. Each one also varies between 4 and 12 hectares. It's also mentioned that there are 3 fields, 522 and 40. However, this one's a little bit interesting, and I wanted to show it to you because it's not what I thought it would be, and I actually don't know what it is. So there's that. 5 is way up here at the top. You do not own this by default. 22, smack dab right in the middle. You're going to get a great harvest out of that starting off. And then 40's down here. However, as you can see through here, it is like at the very, very edge of the map. So it's like way out here. So you kind of go through here. I think it's meant to be run for like grass silage or something, but yeah, I mean, it is there, technically. So there's that. But additionally, I went through here looking at the compounds, and this is all fertilized up here. There's no field there. Check this out. I mean, there's a grass area, but that grass area does not mimic what's actually under it. So I'm a little bit interested with that as well. It's not an issue. It's not a problem. I mean, if you buy it, hey, you got fertilized ground, but just something to be aware of, like, hey, I thought there would be a field up there. There's fertilization. Me too, bro. Me too. As for everything else, we have a custom soil map for precision farming, as well as custom license plates and 50 golden apples as collectibles. Oh yeah, and there's a train. From the PDA, as we showed it off farmlands that we own, we've got this one right here by default. Farmland 22 is going to get you this entire area right here, so do be aware of that. We've also got all these itty-bitty spots in between, so you might be able to see that we've got these green marks between. I also found this kind of interesting. That's actually the field grass. I think it's the field grass, the one you can plant and harvest in between all the fields, and then the fields themselves are just regular painted grass instead of being the other way around. This does do a good job of kind of separating between the 2 fields, and it also would probably make it very easy just to mow up and plow up whenever you go through. So there's that. Here's our starting farm. We do get a little bit of equipment, which is always good. They've kind of gone for a different start from scratch approach to this. So we have some base game buildings. There are no required mods, so everything on here will be familiar to you guys. I mean, yeah. Pretty cool. And they actually used this barn, which I love. I love this barn. It's a great barn. And if you need water, the canal is set up for that as well. Check this out. So over here we have a boat ramp. I mean, it's supposed to be for getting water, but hey, we might be able to use it for boats as well. I'm looking forward to that. Pricing for all of these areas ranges from the mid 200s up to the mid 300s in price. So you can expect to be paying around that, which is also good because you could probably get through about 1 or 2 harvests on your main field and, well, you'll be ready to go for it. As far as our crop calendar goes, here is that, so you've got an idea of what to expect. Speaking of crops, I didn't see any new crops added, and there are none. No animals on the map by default. Here are your lots and lots of logging contracts to go forward. And we have 2 productions on the map, Cement Factory and Larry's Sawmill. So we got all that. And then straight through here, if we take a look, we can see all the stuff that we get in new farmer mode. It's not a lot of stuff, but It's pretty cool stuff. Again, no required mods, so time to move on. Now it's time for vehicles, and we start with the AGCO Ideal 2017-2023 pack from Patrick, returning from Farm Sim 22. Included, we have the combine harvester itself with between 451 and 790 horsepower. Also, it does feature the Ideal 9 and 10, but also the 7 and 8, which were actually added a little bit later on, at least in FS22. Additionally, we have the Power Flow. This is going to be the 12.2 meter header. We have a 9.2 meter version, and we have, well, the other 12.2 meter version, but it's not a Power Flow. That's the Dynaflex. Options are pretty nice on here. So if we start at the very bottom with that Ideal 7, that's 451 horsepower with 12,500 liters of capacity. If we bump that up one, capacity stays the same, but horsepower increases up to 538. Then we go into the Ideal 9. That's where our capacity goes up. 17,100, horsepower 647. And lastly, the Ideal 10. Everything pretty much stays the same except for power, which is up to 790, and our tonnage actually goes up to 21.1, so a little bit more than that Ideal 9. Well, brands include Michelin, Trelleborg, Vredestein, BKT, and Midas. In those, you may have noticed we have quite a few different versions, different setups. All the wheels do look very good. You will find multiple different sets of tracks, wide tires, regular wheels, wides all the way around, US, which is going to be a nice set of duals at the front, and back to our track setup, which is a track number 2. Again, a little bit of a chunkier, a little bit of a wider, and that US2 is actually that big wide track. A couple different designs and branding on here. So we do have Fendt, Massey, Ferguson, and I'm happy to announce that Challenger is back. I think Challenger was on this mod back in Farm Sim 22. However, Challenger was actually removed from the Ideal back in Farming Simulator 19 sometime around and was not re-added back in Farm Sim 22. Well, this mod has it. I love that. That's great news. The design, we have the 2023 model or the 2017 model. It's going to change up a few smaller bits and bobs, the model itself, etc. We have the design, which will be a default or the Ideal drive in the front. And then the pipe, we have a couple options for this one too. So we've got a default setup, a large setup, a large with a light, and then we get the largest fold, and largest fold with light. I imagine most people are probably going to go with the largest fold. Lastly, we have a couple color options. The design is going to be everything that's in black currently. So all the gray and stuff like that, that's going to stay the same, but we can change that up. With that being a Challenger, well, I think it's appropriate for us to go, boom, Challenger yellow. And then we have rim colors here as well. With it being Challenger, nice white does look pretty good. Black would also look very, very awesome, or we just go yellow all the way around. Not sure I like that. That doesn't look very good. There is one other thing that I do apologize. I just looked right over this because I've been looking at the big engines. If you go for the Ideal 7 or 8, we do have an extension set up here, which takes our capacity from 12,500 up to that 17,100. So you can have the high capacity with the lower horsepower engines if you want, making it, at least realistically in game, one of the lowest horsepower tractors or combines with the highest capacity. That's pretty useful. That's everything for the combine, so let's move over to the headers so you can decide which one of these would work best for you if you chose this combine to go with. Branding is going to be the same, so Fendt, Massey, Ferguson, Challenger, all that's good. This one, the Power Flow, 12.2 meter working with, and then we can change up our colors. This is only going to be the end plate, and that's going to continue along with the rest of these two. This one right here, smaller version, 9.2 meter, Fendt, Massey, Ferguson, Challenger. We do have a couple different designs. This is going to be adding a little bits and bobs on the right hand side. Lastly, colors, again, just the end plate. And lastly, the Dynaflex, the 12.2 meter version, Fendt, Massey, Ferguson, and Challenger. A little bit of a smaller design through there, but we also have the end plate design change. Only one animation on this bad boy right here. If we jump in, let's turn it on, we are able to, pipe in, pipe out, that kind of thing. But the only real animation is going to be our driver's door. We can open and close that. Boom, just like so. As far as everything else goes, it is what it is. We do have a screen with some things that work, which is very, very cool. It's always nice when that happens. Up and around the top, nothing really going on, at least nothing that's going to be usable in your game. And from there, I mean, it's just a really nice ideal, very customizable. So if you're looking for one, we do have US and EU versions available for this with plenty of header options. Can't go wrong. Next up, we have the Massey Ferguson Series 3700 AL. This is a returning mod for Farming Simulator 22 from the base game, and of course, Hispanic Modding has brought it over. This features tons of customization options, so if you like changing stuff up, this may be a mod that you guys want to take a look at. Engines, nothing too wild and crazy, a 75 horsepower, 85 and 95. Well, brands, again, really nothing too wild and crazy. We do have brands Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Midas, Vredestein, and Nokia. We do not have BKT on this one. We do have a nice set wides, rear twins, narrow tires, wides with weights, wides, regulars. You've pretty much got everything in here that you need. We do have front fenders, which could be added or removed. We're going to leave them on for now. Beacon light in the back is just a single beacon light. Window tinting from 0, 25, 50, 75, and 100. Weights on the front, we can add from 200 kgs all the way up to 600. No front hydraulic, though, so keep that in mind. And we've got front loaders from Quickie and Nada. And that is just about it there. However, I think the real party piece here is the colors. If you've ever wanted just the most customized Massey 3700 ever, this is kind of the one to go for. Now, talking of colors, we have main, we have chassis, ceiling, front fenders, rear fenders, engine grid, rear view mirrors, and rim colors. Everything is going to have the standard color palette with the unlocked features, regardless if you have the color mod installed or not. So you are able to select your main color. Here, of course, we have Massey Ferguson red. The chassis color, you can change that up. You can see we've changed that, made it a little bit darker. It also changes up the front loader as well. Ceiling, of course, that's going to be the very top. Front fenders, that's why I said let's add some front fenders. We'll change those to white just so you can kind of see them. Rear fenders are going to be the same. We'll go with the orange there. Pretty wild and crazy color, I think. Engine grid, let's go pink just so you can see all the bits that change, and it is all of them. The top, front, the sides, everything there. Rear view mirrors, even. This is one that I was not expecting to change up, but it does, and of course, rim colors are rim colors, as we say. Checking it out, we only have one animation on here, and that's going to be our mirrors, so we can kind of tilt in and out both sets, but that's really the only thing that we're going to be seeing there. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's not a crazy, wild, and just wacky tractor. We do have that power shift down there, so you can change up everything. We do have all the animations that work. It's a nice tractor. Pretty sweet. Again, customization really is where this goes, but feature set, it's going to be pretty standard. Now it's tool time, and we've got 7 tools to take a look at today, starting with the combination Liquid Tank 3000L from Mack Truckin' 921. Now this thing is pretty sweet. It's also pretty basic as well, so let's talk about it. This is new and improved from FarmSim 22, so it is a returning mod, but we have some new stuff available. So this can be found pallet tanks, slurry, tankers, barrels, miscellaneous. It's a portable tank for mounting to a tractor's 3-point linkage, or whatever you've got that has a 3-point link. It can also be strapped down to a trailer for transport as well if you wanted to take more than one of these. Capacity is 3,000 liters, 25,000 liters, or 50,000 liters, and we have very specific capacities for each one. So first, we have the milk tank, and this is going to be for all milk. So we've got cow milk, buffalo, and goat milk, which is great. Then we have water, diesel, liquid fertilizer. So that is going to be all the things you see here. So slurry and digestate. We do have one for herbicide, which is only herbicide, silage additive tank, and then we get into the Unrealistic. So we've got the 25,000 and 50,000 liter capacity versions. The regular one's going to cost you $2,500. If you go with Unrealistic, so up to 25,000, that's going to cost you an extra $22,500, aka making it cost $25,000. And if we check out the Unrealistic capacity number 2, this is going to cost you $51,000. So you pay for basically $1 for every capacity liter. You'll pay it off. Don't worry. Trust me. As far as your tank colors go, we have all of Mack Truckin' 921's colors, including toothpaste, if you wanted it, of course. Gotta love green, too. It's my fave. We do have the mount color, which could be changed up. We'll go with probably something other than green. There we go. Purple will work perfectly fine for that. And then we have the pump color itself. This will be on the top. How about red? Oh, it's already red. Gray. There you go. So we are able to change up all of those things. This would be really nice for people playing on smaller farms. I'm playing on Polygyny on Xbox right now, just having fun off screen. And this is going to be a complete game changer for me on that series. Moving on, we have the front loader tools from Prezels929. I think I said that modder's name right. There's a lot of letters and numbers in there. You know that I love unrealistic stuff, and I like it because it makes life a little bit easier. You still get to play Farming Simulator, but you can accomplish the same amount of stuff in, an hour that would normally take 2 or 3. Well, this mod pack does exactly that. We've got some pretty cool stuff in here, including universal shovel, bell spike, bell pallet fork, fork with the grapple, manure fork, log fork, and ruby. Now, the ruby is what turns your sugar beets into cut sugar beets, which is very, very cool. And we can run a capacity up to 100,300 liters. Basically, it adds a 0 to the end of everything. So 10,300, 100,300. This is a pretty sweet mod setup here. You've also got decals, which can be removed, so you can debrand it, and you can change it whatever color you want, making it extremely helpful and valuable for whatever you're using. But not only that, you can also do the exact same thing to everything else in here as well, whether it be 1,000, 10,000, or 100,000 liter capacity. Everything for the front loader tools is sweet. We've also got very similar stuff here for the bell spikes. Obviously, these do not have a capacity, but you are able to debrand and change all the colors, just making it, a little bit nicer. Let's say everything that you have is a custom color. It's okay to do that. We have plenty of options for that, and I encourage it. Also, this manure fork, just talking about this, 100,000 liter capacity for this one as well. It's very cool, very awesome. Maybe all of your stuff is toothpaste tractor like mine is. Well, there's not a lot of stuff that you can do that with and still play unrealistic. So this mod gives you that ability. Plus, you might have a couple loaders that you need to move a little bit more than 1,000 liters. These will do it. Back to reality, and there goes gravity. It is an auto load trailer. That was super dumb, but I'm keeping it in the video. We have a new one from Smetty, aka CMT Software, the Schwarzmüller Flatbed semi-trailer. We do have auto load, as mentioned. You don't have to have it if you don't want it, but why wouldn't you want it? Let's leave it on there. Perfect. Wheel setups on here. We have a couple different ones to choose from. You got your standard and standard 2, so a little bit different from each one. Extensions, which is always nice. These are not really extensions as much as they are what the platform is made of. Mud flaps, we do have those, but I'm not seeing much. They're hiding down there. So we do have a couple things. I just wasn't seeing it good enough. Those are pretty sweet. I do like having all of them. Side protectors, we have those as well around towards the front of the trailer, including a spare wheel down there. Kind of cool. Toolbox is going to be mounted around towards the back side. Very cool. Beacon lights. Oh, you got to have those. I mean, come on. We also have tools. Now, where are the tools? Well, tools are mounted at the front. Can't use them, but they're there. And then lastly, we swing back around to the rear of the trailer for one last thing, the rear lighting design. I think design 3 is probably my favorite, but you can choose what you like. Lastly, we have color options. We have the main color itself. We'll go with a red for that. Chassis color, how about we go with bright white? There you go. Design, I think a lime green is in order for that one, so that your protections. And of course, rim colors are rim colors at the end of the day. It is nice that we've got all of the base ones, plus some fun Schwarzmüller colors. Next up, the Unia Special 3, a solid fertilizer or lime spreader with capacities from 500 up to 900 liters. We do have a couple generations as far as your setups go here, either 2022 or 2002. Oh goodness, that's a long time ago. And 2019 body colors. We have all of the above, and then hydraulics color as well. You can change those. And if we spin it right around, we will see that right here on the very edge. And if you're on PC and you're like, hey, that looks familiar. Well, this was actually the Unia Special 3 that came out not too long ago. So there you go. This is the crossplay version. Next one's the Lizard Model 83 9-arm. This is a cultivator, 55 horsepower, 2.4 meter work width, and 9 miles an hour. We do have color options. First one is Color Del Chassis. This is all of the above colors. I like the orange, but you can go with whatever. Arm colors themselves, boom, there you go. And lastly, tines at the bottom. We'll just stick some red tines on there. We also have another cultivator, even smaller, the Knoche SL9, 2.1 meter working with on here, 60 horsepower, 8 mile per hour max speed. We do have a couple sport wheels round towards the front, but that is it. And lastly, we have the homemade lizard fork. This setup right here weighs 300 kgs, and that's the only spec for it. Hooks up via 3-point, and you can load up a round bell. We do have a couple colors, which is always nice. Also from the sides here, it does look like it's got some mounts for straps, and I have good news. They are. There you go. Boom, 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 boom. That's helpful. Now we make our way into placeables. We have 6 of them today for all platforms. The first is the pack of mixers for cows and pigs. This includes 2 mods in here. You've got 1 mixer, again, for cows and 1 for pigs. The mod title actually does a really good job of explaining what this is done. So these are going to cost you $45,000 each. No customization, regardless of what you're trying to do. And if we go in and take a look at what we've got, both of these include wheat. Oh yes. So over here you've got your silage, which goes in there, your straw, which goes in here, and hay, which goes in there. However, you also have your wheat that goes in here. It is a smaller capacity, so there is that. Only 35,000 liters for the wheat and 100,000 for everything else. As far as our mixed ratio goes, 100 silage, 250 hay, 50 for wheat, and 100 for straw. Now this is interesting because you're only putting in 500 liters of stuff, but you get out 750 liters of stuff, at least for every cycle. There's going to be 72 cycles per month at $24 per month. That's really interesting and very, very cool. It holds a lot more hay, at least for the ratios than I would like, but hay is easier to come by. So there is that. As far as our little baby piggies go, we only have 4 inputs here: canola, corn, potatoes, and wheat. Very similar stuff. Honestly, it's literally the same. It's just in different places, and the titles are different. It is only going to hold 160 liters, or 160,000 liters though. So do keep that in mind. With everything that you put in expanding, you're going to have more capacity for inputs than outputs. So make sure you get that stuff out of there. Pretty easy to do though, from this nozzle. Next up, we have the Bin 200 pack. I'm actually a pretty big fan of the bin setups, which are very, very cool. So we have 3 of them plus an expansion. It's my words today, man. Let me tell you, 200,000 liters for the smallest version, 400,000 liters for the medium version, and 600,000 liters for the taller version. And then we've got a 200,000 liter capacity for the expansion right here. Basically, every bin holds 200,000 liters. You just keep adding more and more and more and more. So there is that. If we come around here, we take a look, we can remove the tarpaulin, and then that way you're able to dump in and get out. And once you're all done, boop, you can put it back and you're good to go. All of them do it, and it's pretty sweet. Next on the list, the old medium shed. This bad boy will cost you $25,000. There you go. Almost gave it a really good value over there. Through here, we do have a couple different places for light switches. When we hit those, it does take a second for the lights to come on, so I'm turning it on now. Boom. So it takes a second, but it is kind of nice. We'll close that up. I don't think there's enough space for 1 or 2 smaller vehicles. And then in here, we've got kind of a workshop, but it doesn't actually serve as a workshop. We kind of have a floodlight in here. So visibly, looks cool. Functionally, the doors work and the lights work. So there is that. If you're looking for something like this, well, it is here. Next up, we've got the building pack. Now this includes 5 houses, smaller ones, 2 large buildings, and then 3 sheds. And I will tell you, the only things you can use are the storage areas underneath the 2 large buildings. Everything else, though it may look nice on the outside, is not usable in the game. Some of these actually have interiors, but we're not able to access them, which is kind of stinkowitz. So we'll just kind of go over them quickly. Everything is in decorations, so there is that. Coming through here, boom. Come inside, all good. But that is it. That is the only thing you can use, is that under area storage, which is only half of the building to begin with. So there's that. If you need decorations, go for it. Otherwise, it is leaves a lot of empty space. Next to last, we have the decoration rocks from Ola Haldor. This includes a lot of different things, including 224 different variations to choose from, which is wild and crazy. These are found in decorations, the last category up here, because others and decoration really isn't that specific when you're comparing the two anyway. In here we can see we've got a clean rock, also have a dirty rock, which got changed up a little bit. We also have one moss and the moss dirty. We've also got it set up at different angles, which is kind of interesting. You see here it's set up at a different angle, kind of tilted up, and then we have the low. So it's actually the same rock, just set lower. Very cool, huh? Very cool. Then we've got the different setups through there. So you've got the different angles, all three angles in all three versions. How cool is that? Also, I believe a version of this was released by somebody else. I think a couple weeks ago, a month or two ago, something like that, and quickly removed. So there is that. This is available in a lot of different pieces. So you've got all kinds of pieces from super large, smaller rocks. You can stack these up to make rock setup things. You know, there you go. Stack some. There's another stack. So we've got all of those, and I bet some of these bigger rocks could really go. Put that there, and then put another one on top, another one on top, and another one on top, and another one on top. You get the idea. Whew. And then you simply go in and delete the ones you don't want. You can also leave the ones on top because gravity's not real in Farming Simulator. And it's the floating rock of Pandora from Avatar. Here you go. And lastly, my favorite thing ever, a house that is non-functional, aka no interior. This would be a very cool place, but it's not. It just is what it is. We do have a sleepy time trigger at the front. We do have a kind of a gazebo-esque area here on the side, which can be added or removed. And we got a place to change clothes around towards the back. Just because it has triggers doesn't make it a house. This is a building. Now, over the weekend, we had 8 ground care tools released from the Namyslo category. However, you may have noticed I did not release a video on Saturday when these came out, because, well, they're ground tools. And from the comments, I don't think you guys care for cultivators too much. So instead of getting my video just absolutely review bombed, I decided we'd wait till today. I think that was the smart decision. Anyway, we start with the Namyslo Tiger 120. This is a roller, not a cultivator, unlike pretty much everything else. In here, we have a couple different wheel brands to choose from, including the wheel setups. We do have some lighting, which comes by default, which can be removed, as well as the reflectors, and we could change up the color to a red. Additionally, we have a mulcher, the Namyslo Move 700H. I feel like it's not the Move, but maybe it's the Movi. But it's Move here. 100 horsepower, 7 meters to 12 miles an hour. Actually, a very cool setup here as a mulcher. Very, very, very nice. I think the only thing may be the tonnage, but it's only 1.5 tons. Super lightweight, big working with. I dig it. Cutting discs of yes or no around towards the front. You've got lighting again around towards the back, and your color of blue or red. Next, the Namyslo Monster V. This is a subsoiler. We do have support wheels, which can be added or removed around towards the front. Main color, blue or red. And then we have the roller color, which could be blue, red, or black. We'll go with black just to make it easier. 185 horsepower, 3 meters, ouch, at 7 miles per hour. Cultivator time, the Namyslo Organic 600H. This bad boy is a cultivator, 6 meters, 200 horsepower required at 10 miles per hour. The knife roller, you can add that around towards the front. We also have support wheels, yes or no. Lighting again, yes or no around towards the back. And the main color of blue and red, and design color around the back of blue, red, or gray. We'll go with gray. And everything else is a disc harrow. And the first one is a pack. I think everything should have been in a pack, but that's just me. This is the Reuben pack. This includes 2 models. We have a 3 meter and 6 meter version. 140 and 250 horsepower is required on these. And for some reason, when I load this one up, it freezes my game. I don't know what's up. There we go. We can actually show it off now. You do have some side discs on there. Shields, yes or no. Main color, blue and red, as we've shown off plenty of times before. And then we get into the blue, red, or black around towards the back. And we're going to see very, very similar stuff here as well, though we do have the sport wheels at the front. We also have some extra lighting, which could be removed. Most everything is actually removing things because this comes with everything by standard, other than, I guess, those fenders and the front bar with reflectors. So there is that. Everything else is the same. Then there's the Namyslo Basic, also a disc arrow, and I'm not quite sure. I guess this is the basic version of what we just looked at. We do have the leveling screens, which come by default, can be removed. 105 horsepower is required, 3 meters. 9 miles per hour. And if the other 6-meter disc arrow wasn't enough, well, here's another 6-meter disc arrow, 240 horsepower, required 10 less. And then we have the same. We have the same options for this. And of course, we got to end it out with a pack. Here's another 3-meter disc arrow. I think I'm just going to skip that. There's another, a 5-meter disc arrow. Hey, that's new to the setup. However, it has all the normal stuff. And then we have a 6-meter right here, but without support wheels. So there's that. Couple updates for all platforms. Well, the Lizard Steiger 250. This will be version 1.01. Fix the motor brake values. And Supermarket Productions version 1.1. Remove full box pallets to lower the fill types added by the mod by 8, so it'll work with upcoming Giants updates, which could add fill types. Existing pallets will be lost, or sell them or use them before updating. Also increase the pallet capacity to 2,500 liters. Added new recipes in the supermarket. Fix the dry factory to accept grape pallets, fix the liquid factory to accept olive pallets, and added potato starch and glucose syrup to buy station. Jumping over to new ones for PC and Mac players, we have the Enhanced Animal System mod from Chisel. This mod was actually released back at Farming Simulator 22 as well. It's a little bit different in 25, but nothing too wild and crazy. So the mod will adjust the animal system and expands it with new features. Animals have both male and female offspring. In the base game, this only applies to chickens. However, the number of offspring is breed specific. Reproduction is not dependent on health. Reproduction can also be started manually or automatically, with males starting the reproduction automatically, and reproduction that is not triggered by male animals costs a fee per animal when pricing depends on the breed. Additionally, reproduction that can fail depending on how long ago the last birth was and how old the animal is. Milk production and feed consumption of cows has been adjusted to the lactation curve as well. Cows consume more feed after giving birth, but can also produce more milk. Both decrease over time. Milk production even stops completely if a cow has not had any offspring for a long time. Cows are dry for 2 months before giving birth, which means they do not produce any milk during this time. Animals can live longer than 60 months. Animals can also become less healthy when they are in poor health, so that's important. Animals become less healthy when they reach their maximum age, and stables can hold more animals than are specified due to reproduction. The health of the animals decreases depending on the overcrowding. So that is very, very cool. The mod description is a lot less than it was back at Farm Sim 22, but a lot of stuff has changed since then. Very cool mod. Great to see this out. Definitely one that I used all the time. Secondly, we have another mod from Chisel, also Bavarian Redneck, the Animal Package Vanilla Edition. Now, when we refer to Vanilla Edition, here in the United States, we would call that base game. Bring more life and optical realism to your farm. This mod introduces new models for cattle, pigs, sheep, goats, and chickens, including male animals and additional growth stages. In the base game, all of the above mentioned animals found in the base game are covered. Horses, buffalo, and chickens are currently only partially affected or not yet included. We do have some key features, with male and female animals being visually distinct, more detailed growth stages for a natural progression, realistic ear tags on livestock, greater variety in coat and spot patterns remain consistent as animals grow. Auto modifications are purely cosmetic and do not affect the gameplay balance. You can also find a more in-depth realistic animal system, which adds these functions, again, with the enhanced animal system from Chisel. They do say when adding this mod to an existing save game, all previously animals may be removed. So it is that, well, that's important. There you go. Be aware. And if 2 wasn't enough, here's a third animal mod today for PC and Mac players. Animal Displays from Happy Loser. This shows you in real-time information about your animal stables and stock, and in a display box as well. You can customize the display box and optionally align it, whatever that means. Nonetheless, there you go. Lastly, today we have a couple updates for PC and Mac players. First one is that Raba Steiger 250, same as the crossplay version 1001. fix motor brake values. And lastly, the AutoSan D47 version 101 collision mass fix for exact fill route node, fix the fill volume clipping in one of the configurations, fixed issue with connection hoses, added rattling sounds when driving over bumps, and added new wheel configuration. And there it is. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Hope you enjoyed this one. Drop a like if you did. Get subscribed if you do. Join the DjGoHam fam. Double check those notifications. That way you never miss videos like this one. The news will be second today, so it's not out yet. Usually it comes first, but mod's been a little bit interesting lately. Nonetheless, hope you have an awesome day. Happy Monday to you. We'll catch you in the next one.